Astral Aegis. Written by Sylvac. Chapter 12. Canterlot. I still don't think this is a good idea, madam.
I never said it was a good idea.
That doesn't inspire confidence.
Good. Being overconfident is a bad idea. Tends to get ponies killed.
I dryly said to Silver, causing my recruits to all look at me in alarm. We were all sitting in the train car in the morning after I gathered all my recruits, which involved whacking any pony that didn't wake up at the crack of dawn with a stick. Oddly enough, the train car Princess Celestia reserved for me had enough seating to nearly fit in the original amount of recruits, alerting me that she probably expected me to drag the recruits to Canterlot with me. Thankfully, with all the available space, some of the ponies that still had injuries were given an entire seat to rest on, while I assigned seating for the rest. This resulted in Silver and I taking a seat together with Duskcloud, a dark blue-coated Thestral stallion with a short black mane, and Orange Spring, a green-coated earth pony mare with an orange mane and an overly cheery smile. As I observed them, Dusk took on a hardened look, probably due to my training style.
Hey, don't give me that look. Like I said, if you can't stand the training, then just leave.
I declared, to which Dusk just flicked his ear in annoyance.
I cannot just simply leave, madam. It would shame my family if I were to simply leave on my own accord.
Dusk replied in a gruff manner. Oh, one of those honorable way types. Gotta crush that line of thinking now. I thought to myself.
You're worried about shaming your family? 'Cause odds are you're likely to shame yourself if you stick to this team more than just giving up now.
This drew Golden Sword's attention, who was sitting across the aisle with Dusty Skies opposite him. I highly doubt that, madam, as much as I doubt an alien pony like you would understand anything about honor.
Please, there were many kinds of aliens from where I came from, and I met some aliens in my line of work that was so obsessed with some honor code of theirs, it tended to get them killed.
I nonchalantly replied while waving a hoof around.
Besides, you're going to be having to do things that you would consider dishonorable in this line of work.
Such as?
Hitting an alien in their... well, that.
I answered as I pointed a hoof down there. Blinking, Dusk took on an offended look as he did the predictable thing honorable folk would do.
I would do no such thing. Taking such action would tarnish my honor. I'd rather die than commit to such an act.
Yeah, but think about this scenario. There are lives of innocent ponies on the line that depend on you completing your mission. However, you ended up in a situation where you have to commit that act on an alien or you will die. Which would you choose? Your honor or their lives?
I asked as I stared him down. Scowling at me for a minute, Dusk finally answered.
I would choose to sacrifice my honor instead of innocence.
Good, cause if you said the other choice, I would have tossed you off the train instantly.
I said with a mocking grin. You would stop the train just to kick some pony off, madam? Silver asked with a raised eyebrow.
Who said anything about stopping?
My response, of course, caused every pony to just stare at me, to which I just shrugged before turning my attention to Orange Spring, who had her usual smile turned into a shocked look.
So, Miss Spring, can you really stay so optimistic throughout the training? Like I said in the interview, this job is not pleasant.
Are there really going to be such situations as you describe?
Pretty much, or worse. Before you say anything, Silver, I truly wish that was a joke, but it isn't.
I replied as we were all getting off the train, taking a look around. I was only in the princess's castle when I first came to Canterlot, so I was intent on Wow, there's a lot of unicorns here. I wonder if there is a species thing going on here in this world too. Madam, do you know where the castle is?
Sadly no, so take the lead, Silver. I have some rather important questions to ask. Don't give me that look. I'm getting information on some of the ponies here.
Giving an annoyed look at Silver, I let him head to the front of the group before he started to lead us towards the castle as I took position next to Golden Sword. "Is something the matter, madam?" Golden said in that noble tone of his.
Why, yes, there is an important matter. Can you tell me the general views the nobility of Canterlot normally hold?
"I beg your pardon? Aren't you a noble too, madam?"
Only recently, so I didn't get to meet any nobles yet. Just tell me what you can before we reach the castle.
I ordered.
I'd rather know some things before I encounter any of them, 'cause I have a feeling that these nobles are going to be similar to some ponies I've met, and if this feeling is true, I'm going to have to resist the urge of throwing a chair at their face.
Gasping in shock, Golden asked, "What in the sweet name of Celestia would cause you to do that?"
Let's just say that I had a few bosses that I really hate.
It wasn't long before we arrived at the castle and were escorted to some facility which gave Golden Sword time to inform me that while some nobles may be somewhat like my former bosses, but most of them actually aren't that bad after all. However, shortly after entering some tower on the outer edge of the castle grounds, I spotted Princess Celestia, some members of the Royal Guard, and some other unicorns that I assume must be scientists or something like that. Can't be sure with this world of magic. Just as Celestia was about to greet me as my recruits began to bow their heads to her, I stopped her in her tracks when I said,
Greetings later, let's check the debris now. There wasn't any incidents in their recovery.
While every pony was staring at me in shock with the exception of Silver Shield, Celestia just gave me an amused smile as she answered. Thankfully, there weren't any, and while we were able to identify some of the debris as harmless rocks or inert material that was similar to the probes, we did find 3 objects that appeared to be some kind of container. Raising my eyebrows, I kept my mouth shut as I contemplated on what potential scenarios we could encounter.
Princess Celestia, take me to the containers now. Also, bring in the best objects you got for piercing or smashing purposes.
Her expression shifted to concern. Celestia began to lead us to wherever she has stored the debris. Do you think we may have something dangerous inside these objects?
Can't say for certain, though I know that there could be anything in them. Depends if I could identify what organization those containers may belong to, but regardless, I'd rather have us prepared for anything.
We soon reach a portion of the building where the rooms have glass walls to view through in order to see the room's contents, which gave me relief when I saw that these containers were put into separate rooms. Sadly, this relief was short-lived, for I saw that these containers was something I hadn't encountered before. Though there appeared to be some markings on the side of the containers, they were too deformed from the portal incident to be legible. They were made of some metal alloy and appeared to be 20 feet long, 7 feet wide, and 5 feet tall. Right next to the containers was a series of raised platforms, probably for any non-Pegasi ponies, to use in over to view the containers without touching it.
Not good. I don't recognize them, which means that these are more of the private kind of containers. So either they used to belong to some government force or to a high-end organization. Celestia, can you still use magic if you're outside the room?
Yes, we can. I take it you want me to remain outside the room?
I want every pony to remain outside the room until I say otherwise. I'll be the only pony going into the room. For now, I want 2 barriers, one surrounding the entire room and one covering over me. Now Celestia, if I open a container and suddenly fell over, do not enter the room, no matter what. Just teleport the container into space and myself out of the room, understood?
Wouldn't it be better for a royal guard to just follow your directions?
Perhaps, but they may not be able to react properly. Just do what I say.
I said before I opened the door approaching the first container. Instantly, I could see the walls, floor and ceiling of the room covered with magic, along with a golden barrier surrounding me, as well as some spears, hammers, even a giant boulder teleporting into the room. Getting on the platforms, I was able to see that the top of the container had some kind of double door with a damaged keypad, that was probably a result from falling out of the unstable portal. Taking a deep breath, I gripped the lids with my magic, grunting as I began to pull at them. Thankfully, either the design of the container wasn't built to handle magic or the damage it sustained weakened it, for I was able to pry the lids open. Unfortunately, the moment I pulled the lids open, an 8-foot long, 3-foot wide and 2-foot high object flew straight up out of the container. I quickly saw that it was made of a familiar white crystalline design, its body in a sleek angular shape that narrowed down to its rear end.
Shit!
I said in my native language, for I recognized the thing to be an aerial Dixian war machine as it opened 2 small panels taking aim at me.
Celestia, smash that thing! Smash it now!
Thankfully, before the machine could fire and test whether or not Celestia's barrier could resist its firepower, the lone boulder crashed into it, sending the both of them into the wall. Looking to the glass wall, I yelled,
That boulder won't be enough! Grab something made of straw!
Only to hear a familiar pop of the teleport spell, causing me to see a large sheet of metal engulfed in a golden aura to appear. The boulder was moved aside, revealing that it didn't even harm the machine, only for the sheet of metal to smash into it over and over until it exploded. Small jagged pieces of crystal rain around the room, bouncing off the barriers harmlessly till everything settled down. Planting my rear end on the platform, I started to pant as I felt my panic fading away as the royal guard rushed into the room. A couple came to my side as the rest surrounded the remains of the machine and the container before Celestia herself strode inside. Joining the guards at my side, Celestia lowered her head to my level as she asked,
Aether, are you okay? I'm okay, though I want to hit you in the face now.
This caused Celestia to rear her head in surprise as the guards glared at me, probably for my rudeness to her instead of gratitude for keeping me safe.
Why do you want to do that? Remember that I told you that no pony should come inside until I said otherwise? Y'all could have gotten... I wish I had finished that dictionary. Just, we're all lucky that there is nothing here to make any pony sick with something that we may not be able to cure.
Looking over to the container, I saw that there was nothing inside.
Seemed that the machine was... off until after the portal event, which may have turned it on, and was waiting to attack the moment some pony opened the container. Well, time to move on to the next 2.
Next 2? After what just happened? Celestia asked, her face expressing some shock.
Yeah, better get it over with instead of waiting for something else to happen. Besides, we still don't know what is inside the other 2 containers. Could be bad, could be good, could be junk to us. Also, the sooner we know, the sooner we can figure out if magic can cause it to react badly or not.
I said as I got off the platform, heading to the next 2 rooms as the guards just blinked at my willingness to continue despite the danger I just faced. And so concludes another chapter. Thank you all for enjoying, and for news, I have a new Discord server, which I'm going to link in the description of all the Astral Aegis story chapters so that you can all join it and just chat, talk MLP and see and recommend and just chat and recommend me stories that you want to read in the future in a more centralized location, you could say, so I don't have to scurry through all the comments and then type it into Fanfiction and hope that it's all right. So yeah, I hope to see you there, and until then, I will see you guys in the next video. So bye bye.